Hello everybody, welcome back to Rich Talks. I'm Mitch.
I'm Rob.
Today we have another great episode for you, and episode 10, yes! Yes! So, societal
Rest
pressure.
in peace, your ears.
Rest in peace, your ears. My autism is it's overtaken as we speak. We can't speak for women, so this is the only side we're going to do. Societal pressures for men. Well, because we're men, we can speak about this topic. First of all, finances. Well, we've got to be the fucking head honcho, really, when it comes to finances. Again, it's screwing a little bit in today's society due to governmental pressures and stuff. But, like, we are the ones who are, throughout history, have always been the one who gathers resources. And today's day and age, that signals itself as finances. So, Rob, expand.
But I do think there's a tipping point. So, yeah, finances. Where I think we can go with this conversation is throughout history, men have been the provider of the family, right? And until nowadays, so recent times where women can earn just as much, equality has come around, right? And equality in finances. More men are still earning more, but if you take the level playing field of us as middle class, whatever, at the bottom of the food chain, general workers, labourers, whatnot, we are all earning roughly the same. And now in a household, it's normally a 50-50 split. If the woman's working, the male's working, or often they're earning roughly around the same amount. Sometimes, if a man's a bit more specialised, they're earning a little bit more. So we're feeling the pressure as men to carry on providing and being the main earner. And I feel like that's an internal pressure we're putting on ourselves in a society that is evolving to be a bit more equal in the share. And that's, like you say, governmental pressures of costs going up. So women have to now work a little bit more because they have to contribute, because one salary is not enough for people to live on.
This is if you have a job anyway, because I personally, and again, oh God, you misogynistic pig, rah, rah, rah. I don't want my woman to work. I'd rather just make all the money, because I'm like, at some point, kids are a thing. Yeah, at some point, you are going to start a family. And when that comes, the woman's bond to a child is fucking unmatched. You know what I mean? It has to be prevalent. So I'm like, right, I need to earn the money. That's kind of where my head's at. It's a bit old-fashioned. Maybe it's the way I'm raised. But I'm like, the second I have a kid, I'm going to say to the missus, listen, you fucking do your thing. Look after that child, please. It's my job to make the money.
But you saying do her thing, I think that's good, because that's exactly what I want. But I'd want my girlfriend to do what she wants to do, to have the option. So once the child has been raised to enough to where we want a babysitter, right? Yeah. So you have that initial sort of settling in period from pregnancy, and then, however long. I don't have kids yet, so I don't really know the period. But if she wants to work, then she can.
Yeah, that's where you want to get to as a bloke. I think when it comes to finances, especially nowadays, you want to be in a position where you can say to your missus, listen, if you don't want to work, you don't have to. But if you want to, you can. There's no worries from you on your end financially. There's no nothing. It's just if you want to fill your days. That's kind of the position that financially, if you get yourself to as a man, I think you tick off the pressure of finances in society, because you can be like, listen, my dear, just, if you don't want to work, don't. If you do, great. But if there's the option to not have to, because we are covered. I think that's probably where the most of the pressure comes from, because not a lot of men nowadays have that. But
I think it's like leading towards financial independence, not necessarily financial freedom. I think you could separate the two. Financial freedom is where you don't have to work. If you don't want to, you can do whatever the fuck you want with your money, right? And you've got to have fuck you money. Yeah, really. Nowadays, you have to do that. Whereas financial independence is having enough money that you still have to work.
Yeah.
Your wife or your girlfriend doesn't have to work. Yeah. You can support a family of maybe 2 to 3 children. And I think once you've got to that point, and you can go on holidays, have a couple of holidays a year. Once you've got to that point, drive an okay car. Doesn't have to be, but if you want to drive a nicer car, you can afford to. That's the sort of financial independence.
You're nowadays. Probably self-sufficient in a role as well. You're probably self-employed. Otherwise,
or just you're a specialist.
Yeah,
so you have to be a specialist nowadays.
You have skills, but you probably to be financially independent, because this is something that I think needs to be pushed more in society, because we get a lot of people like wanting fuck you money. I'm like, for not everybody can have fuck you money, but I believe everyone can be financially independent because you can be self-employed, you can work for yourself. It can be there's enough out there for everyone to be financially independent. I don't know there's enough out there for everyone to be fuck you money. Like, I don't think that's the case.
Well, not for everyone, but it really depends what you want, because you can have both, but you really then have to work for it. You have to apply yourself, and I don't think a lot of people will want to specialise themselves for years and years and years, which is what it takes now. It's hardly you're not going to get it by luck.
No,
nowadays you're not going. It's very rare that someone hits the jackpot within a couple of days or a week of doing one thing.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. This is so true. This is why. I don't know, a lot of societal conversation when it comes to money is like directed here or here. There's this weird middle ground. Not everyone desires fuck you money, yeah? But everyone desires financial independence. But it feels like there's no one speaking to the people who desire that. If you desire, well, as you say, your other half to not have to work, you can provide for your whole family, but you've got a reasonable work-life balance and you make probably just close to six figures. That's not glamorous in today's society. No one glamorizes that. No one glamorizes because you haven't got a fucking Ferrari. But that's a pretty well-off life for most people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would take that. But no one speaks to that cohort of people. That it's okay if that's all you desire in life. That's completely okay. Not everyone wants to be a fucking millionaire who drives Ferraris and shows off on Instagram.
Because what's glamorized is that the highest status, the highest thing that you can be, and not anywhere in the middle ground. Sometimes the middle ground is the sweet spot.
And no, so sorry to cut you off here, but fucking hell, does that glamorization put more pressure on people in society? Because it's like, if you're not this, you're shit.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of that in today's society. If you're not the highest of highest echelon of earners, you're a nobody. And I'm like, well, let's be real here. Not everyone's going to have that. But if you can push for financial independence as a person, and that's your version of making it, fucking so be it. You're not.
And the people that are making the content, we're only listening to a small amount of people that are making the content. Lots of people are consuming the content rather than making it. So you actually, the people that are making the content are a very small minority. And often the people that you're listening to have hit the algorithm, so they're at the top of the food chain already. So you're only listening to people that are in the position talking about it. That if you aren't here where I'm sitting, you're nobody. So you're only getting a small amount of material from people that are already at the top.
And but these are also the people that are pushed. It's like there's no one who's pushed who's makes £100,000 per year, has a relatively okay family life, works 5 days a week, and goes on holiday 3 times a year. That's a lot of people's okay. Like a lot of people would be more than happy to have that life. But fucking Andy Elliott and fucking Stephen Bartlett and Andrew Tate, these are the motherfuckers who are pushed, people who with millions. It's like, it's okay to not have or to not have or want that life. You know what I mean? And that life is inadvertently putting more pressure on young men to fucking have that or want to have that. And it's not, I mean, I don't want that. I mean, fuck that. I mean, like, I'm like, if I can have a decent balance, make a good enough money to work for my fucking self and decent income, like I'm talking decent income, like it has like 6 figures, fucking fine. But not everyone's going to achieve 6 figures in life.
So a quote that resonates with this statement is something I heard on the podcast. I was listening to the podcast. I was taking the dog for a walk today, and I've heard it before, but it's someone that brought it up again. So I want to climb a mountain. So I'll give you a little bit of backstory, context behind it. Climbed the mountain and then was looking out, lovely sunset and sunrise. It was lovely sunrise. Seeing a mountain in the distance and going, oh, how do I get to that mountain? Oh, that one looks cool. And how can I get there? And not valuing the mountain that they were standing on.
Yeah.
So because they couldn't see it, they were already on it, looking on the outer peripheral, right? And looking for that next thing to try to climb up. Appreciate where you are. Appreciate what you've got in your current life, and that's that gives me goosebumps a little bit because I'm guilty of this, of trying to strive for better. I know why I'm trying to strive for better, and it's really what I want, and I've had to think about this. But at the same time, you have to go, wow, how am I doing present? Rather than always looking to the future.
Yeah.
Rather than always looking back and going, how was I? there's no middle ground.
Yeah, everyone speaks to the past you or the future
self.
you. There's no one speaking to the current cohort of like live in the present. Do you know what I mean? Like we literally only get one life, and it's like there's no point idolizing anyone who's not worth idolizing. There's no point in fucking always looking to the future, always looking into the past. Just look at the floor, touch some fucking grass, and realize you're living currently. You don't have to live for the future or the past all the time. Currently, you are living as we speak. As you are watching this podcast, you are fucking living. Do you know what I mean?
Listen to this whilst you're going out for a walk. Appreciate your surroundings. Yeah, take a moment to just go, wow, I've got some cool stuff in my life. I've got some cool people. I've got some cool things. I've done cool experiences. A cool experience that I'm experiencing right now is fucking cool. This is like 1 in a million billion chance that we're here. So yeah, so I'm getting enthusiastic speaking about it.
And that's what I mean. There's pressure financially, but there's also pressure then for men. You've got to be the head of the house. Realistically, still, you do have to be the head of the house. And I'm like, this is not as much pressure as the finances, because if you have the finances, you're probably automatically going to be head of the house anyway, because you're the one. You're saying.
Well, head of the house, because in every species, well, most species, we talked about this. That majority of species, you look at the male as being the dominant. Mm-hmm. Right, and you only got to look at the lion and know that the male lion is the leader of the pride. The women might go out and hunt and do their bit, but the male is he's the king of the jungle, so to speak. Gorillas, you can come on to.
Love gorillas,
but it's gorillas, we are known as the protector. We the provider. We will go out and hunt and gather for you and bring it back, and that over time has progressed, and now we're living in a society where we're living in a digital world. It's not so much analog, and everyone can provide now. A woman can provide if they're sitting online and making a lot of money. So we're getting caught up in a weird time yet. We haven't really established where we are in life because we've made this technological advance that none of us can really comprehend yet. How we haven't adjusted to this time, and lots of us, well, males. Mm-hmm. Are feeling that pressure of where do we fit in with that now?
Is there a correlation between this and the extremely astronomical rise of both genders' depressions? Like, it's like your role is now skewed. It's like if you like, what's the likelihood you speak to a big old boss CEO at 50 years old? She's a woman, yeah, but you ask her what's her biggest regret in life, and it's like, I didn't have any kids. Like it's like. What the fuck? It's like the amount of women I speak to, they say, "Oh, the best thing that's ever happened to me is my kids." I'm like, do you not think there's something in that biologically? Like, men are the ones
reproduce.
We're meant to reproduce, but men are also the ones that are meant to kind of drive the family forward. It's like, and if we don't have that, we get miserable. If women have that, they get miserable. It's like, I'm like, okay, so surely just flip it. The men drive the family forward. The women are the nurturing carers, and the happiest people in society are when they fit into that roles. Like, okay, again, I might be called sexist. Oh, you misogynistic pig. I don't give a shit.
It's the definition of being a mother. If you look at the definition of being a mother, that's kind of what it is. You're looking after. You're mothering. Yeah. Go and have a look at the definition of what mothering is. And a father, they have definitions, and it's looking after, looking after the family. The mother is nurturing the family and being the supportive kind of character in people's lives. So the head of the house is kind of the role model. It's kind of who the family look towards to go, what do we do in this situation, in tough times, and how do we act? The behaviour, discipline of of the family, and I think people will feel the pressure of that if they don't feel like they are the head of the house, or they don't fit in with their own agenda of how the head of the house should be, if they've had previous experiences of their parents and how they parented. A lot of people will now parent off of how they don't want to parent. For example, if parents used to smack their child for discipline, well, that can be seen as a negative or a positive. Mm-hmm. I quite see it as a positive. I was smacked as a kid. Yeah. I'm not going through any sort of traumatic, abusive depression in my life from that. I remember it. And what it made me think was, I'm not going to do that naughty thing I'm about to do because I might get a smack. Yeah. And it wasn't It was I made the decisions based off of the repercussions.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I knew I would be sent to my room and told I was a naughty boy, well, I could quite easily accept that and go, I'm gonna fucking do that anyway. This naughty, decision action that I'm going to take, because there's not many repercussions behind it. So where I'm going with this is, some people will choose to take that on board and apply that to their own parenting, or some people will go, I don't want that because I didn't like the way they did that. So that adjusts to how you become a parent. So you're always doing it from your previous experiences, and you're looking at other people and you're taking little bits of that. And
again, parenting is so individual. Like, it has to be down to the person how you want to fucking parent. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, someone's going to be like, as I say, someone will let someone get away with being a mouthy cunt 10 times, but the next parent would smash the person's Xbox for it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it just depends on how you parent. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was one thing that I always saw that I was like, right, okay, because I remember I was seeing someone put soap in their kid's mouth once. I remember thinking, I actually remember saying to my mum, you don't, like, you can hit me as much as you want, just never put fucking soap in my mouth. It's disgusting. That's just like, oh, no, please don't put soap in my fucking mouth. I was like, oh, god damn it. That was the one thing that I was like, fucking hell.
Is that why you don't wash your hands?
I'm a dirty cunt. Oh no. It's like fucking, I just remember seeing that and thinking, fucking hell. But another pressure men have, and women, again, as we discussed, have kids. You've got to have kids, got to settle down, yada, yada, yada. Some people don't want that, some people do.
And the pressure comes back to the finances. And often I think that's where a decision is being made around that. It is a big loop, because for me, if you was going to ask me, and I know we spoke about this before, when am I going to have kids?
Yeah.
Well, there isn't the right time, and you'll never sort of be ready. That's that bit. You never feel like you're going to be ready. But for me, I want to be in a good financial position before I have kids. Yeah. So I can't put a time on when. It could be 6 months' time that I'm in a great financial position and I'm like, now I'm ready. Or it could be 2, 3, 4 years. It literally depends on how much scalability I have with my current business, and how the governing body chooses to act. And
do you think you're ever going to be ready for kids though? Because again, from the outside looking in, it's like the outside looking in. When people look at both of our ages, someone would probably say to you more than me, "Kid time." I'm like, who are you to say at that point when you are having kids? Because I'm 24, Rob, you're 32. So like, it's a bit like people are a bit more like probably parents in your ear.
Kid time. Well, actually not. Yeah, I still see myself as young, and maybe because, again, with times, people were having kids younger in history, but that was also because that was the thing. That was what they did, and they didn't have much technology where geography is no longer an issue.
Yeah, no.
With us, we can communicate with people all over. Whereas back then, it was an issue. So your surroundings, if your friends and family were all having kids, you had a kid, otherwise you didn't fit in.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, there's people that are not having kids, they're going off travelling. You've got the cool uncle, and that's becoming a thing now. Being the cool uncle, which
20 years later,
I'm currently an uncle, but I don't see myself as cool. I don't even see my nephews enough because I'm trying to sort my own shit out in my life. So that's something I would love to be. I'd love to be a cool uncle, and so it's with times that move on, and the age now really for men having kids is slightly delayed in life. Men can get away slightly. With the woman, on the other hand, it's harder because it comes a point where you might not be able to have kids. Your chances, are shorter. They slim. So with me, I don't see it as much of a rush.
You're like,
I can hold off. I can hold off.
You've got a fucking cock. I don't.
You say that. You say that. Men, with men getting older, testosterone goes down, and the sperm count goes down, and things like that. So yes, biology will catch up with you, but most men can go on till they're 40, maybe mid 40s, and still have kids.
Fucking Mick Jagger's probably got kids, like 85 fucking kids in every different continent of the globe.
But I want to do it right. So that's I want to do it right, but I also want to live my life right. So selfishly, it might be selfish for someone else, but for me, it's selfless. I want to do what I want to do, but within reason. I care for my partner, so I care for her values, and I care for what she wants, her requests, her opinions. But at the same time, I'm only here. I'm only here once.
Yeah.
So there has to be a middle ground where we have to meet. I've put like a time restriction on, so I'm like, I've got to sort my shit out.
Yeah.
It's business. Fitness was a major one for me, thinking I'm in my prime, and that's kind of gone on the back burner. I'm like, because I can still do that.
Yeah.
If I've got financial independence or financial freedom, I can do that whenever I want. I can live my life, my hobbies and things like that, because they are hobbies.
Yeah.
I'm not an athlete. Even though I train like one, I'm not an athlete.
Yeah.
And some would disagree. Some would say, no, you are an athlete. No, an athlete for me is being a professional.
But if you've done an Ironman.
No, but okay. No, what I'm saying is it's being professional. So there's professional Ironman, and there's hobbyists who go and pay a substantial amount of money just to fucking cross a line, which is very fucking hard. It's a mental challenge, physical challenge, but you're paying money to do it. If you're getting paid to do it, you are an athlete in my eyes. Yeah, and that's how I hold myself. So everyone can argue for or against that. Don't give a shit. That's how I see it, and you're not going to change that. And so for me, it's a hobby. But when I can get my financial independence or freedom, that's when I'm more likely to have kids. It's more financial independence. That's going to come sooner than financial freedom, obviously. Yeah. And I'd like to think in the next couple of years, 2 years. But then that's another pressure. I am feeling that pressure, and even to get married. To get married. And let's talk about this, because I'll openly talk about it now.
Marriage is something that
my parents would split up. Yeah. Right, so my parents are divorced from an early age. So I only ever saw that. That was my experience of life, of having parents split up. And then I had parents split up around me. So I had friends that had that.
Do you want to get married?
So that's what I'm saying. Yes. Short answer, yes, I do. Now I do. Yeah. But no, I didn't for a very fucking long time. Yeah. And still I'm, holding back. There's a fear for me to commit, and not commit to my partner. I fully commit to my partner, but commit to going, okay, now's the time to get married. And I know I want to now, but the timing of everything is like, it's a juggle. It's a pressure. It's the pressure of this conversation. That's why we're having a conversation, because I'm living pressures. You're living pressures. You're living pressures of your own existence and your own situations. And for me, marriage wasn't a necessary good experience in my life.
Yeah, no.
So therefore, I think, okay, well, it wasn't then, so that's why I didn't want to get married for a long time. I'm like, well, now I can make a good experience. I can make it a good experience. So I want to know that I can commit to doing that and making it a good experience for the other person. I know I can, because I know what my values are. I know my integrity. Mm-hmm. So it's just like that. You've got to cross the line. At some point, you've got to take action. And we've had this conversation before. But do I have kids first? Do I get married first? Both come across, and really now the decisive point for me to take action: money.
Do you know what? I'm gonna be real with you. Marriage should be free, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially if it's religious, right? So if you're
trying to monetize religion, like no one spoke about how kind of dark that is. Like
the Church of England gets tons of money.
It's like. But because this is where the moral objection comes. It's like, I don't want to spend 10 grand to get married. I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like that should be free.
I'm looking at farm fields because I'd love the idea of that, having a massive barn or even marquees and like little teepees and where people, one big marquee in the middle. Teepees on the outside in the farm. How fucking good would that be?
You'd love it.
Yeah, like banjo music.
Oh god, the country.
Good old barn dance, and then maybe a bit of a brawl.
Oh god, a little scrap on the side.
Dogs running around. Like pets, bring all your pets. Bring whatever you want.
That's what I mean. Like
it's what it should be. It's glamorized.
It's too over glamorized.
There's a pressure to have the best wedding. I've got the biggest cake, or I've gone to the best area. Don't give a shit. This is what I'm trying to reduce. Become a minimalist.
Yeah, minimalism is
value
really...
your present and value the things that you already have and not the things that you want to have.
And no one in society will tell you to be a minimalist as well. But if you are a minimalist, I guarantee you probably live a more mentally peaceful existence than others. And you don't need 10 grand for a wedding. You don't need a really nice car. You don't fucking need to like stay in expensive hotels when you go on holiday. The best things in life are free.
Yeah, mostly.
The best things in life are free. But time you spend with your mates, time you spend with your family, going to see free natural landmarks. Most of the best things, there's nothing going to emulate spending quality time with people you love.
Yeah.
And that's free. But it's sold to you differently.
Yeah.
And these are why precious, finances, head of house, fucking having kids to settle down. This is why there's so much pressure around the thing, because of everything's monetized.
Most of the millionaires are moving out the country presently because you get charged close to 50% tax.
Oh, that is robbery.
And yes,
fucking hell.
Yeah, we want to charge the rich, but the rich will just leave because they can afford to leave, and whereas we can't. We're kind of
50% is robbery.
We're pretty much stuck. Man. We're pretty much stuck, and when you do earn a little bit more, then you're penalised more. It is a penalty.
There's no incentive to make more money in the UK. The UK's finished, man.
But taxes
were
supposed to help. Now they don't help at all.
The UK's finished. The UK is finished.
Well, it's finished if we carry on this trajectory that we're going.
Have you ever been to the Isle of Sheppey?
Yeah.
Have you seen the fucking roads there?
Oh, yeah.
People pay taxes for that.
But you've seen the roads everywhere. I can't even go out cycling anymore because I stick to the curbside and there's potholes everywhere, drain holes, drain covers. You can't cycle in the middle of the road because you get killed. And there's so many people on the road. Housing developments are going up through the roof. And in the south, we're taking a hit because the government are putting on these housing targets and the south are getting that. And for whatever reason, that's why people like the north. That's why people think of the north and go, wow, there's still beauty up there.
Yeah,
because the south is being
fucked.
Yeah, pretty much. Getting fisted by the Hulk.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
And when people are moving away, but just because they can spend their money a little bit better and have a better quality of life, and I'm quite happy. I can make a good quality of life here, but it comes with higher finances. So it's not worth it. And that's what it all comes back down to. It does revolve around finances, but it shouldn't. Money is just a tool. It's just something doesn't even exist. Money doesn't exist. It used to be just a trade-off. Now it was a measure of trading.
Yeah.
That's become everything.
It's become society.
It's become the thing that you think of the most.
You probably. It's. Do you know what? Yeah, man. It's fucked.
I would love to go on holiday, but it's going to cost. I would love this thing, but it costs this. And it is not what it would do for me. You don't think of that first. You don't think, oh, okay, this holiday will do this for me. You think, I'll go on this holiday, but it's going to cost me flights. I've got to think about hotels. And it becomes a pressure.
Obviously, in society, there needs to be some form of structure, and money provides that very well. But when people aren't minimalists, to an extent, when people are so materialistic, it does cause money and societal pressures for a lot of people. It's just value what's close to you, man. Just value your family, value your time, value the things that matter.
It's crazy to me as well that there's such an imbalance of what things cost because it's scarcity, it's supply and demand. Things like diamonds and what is it? It's a rock, and it's shiny, it's the same as gold, but because it's being controlled of how much that we're giving giving out to society is valued higher. Whereas, there's planets that are made of diamond, full fucking diamond. If that landed on Earth, diamond would plummet.
Mate, you get a Toyota Yaris does more miles per gallon than a Ferrari. So do you know what you should do?
I made my lip cut.
Yeah. Do you know what you should do? Yeah. And this is realistically, not a lot of people have this, but I would rather a Toyota Yaris than a Ferrari because the Yaris is actually for purpose.
But only your present self wants that.
No, but I've never valued a more expensive car in my life. I've valued an efficient car.
No, but what I'm saying is your mindset now values that. But if you had the ability to pay for a Ferrari like it was a Yaris, it might change. It may change. It may not. It may not. But until you've crossed that line, you can't ever say. You might get to a point and go, I still want to drive a Yaris.
So it's depreciating asset.
But for me, I like a little bit of speed. I probably wouldn't buy a Ferrari because I do think about the longevity of my money, how I can make more money.
And he's a vegan.
I don't want a depreciative asset. And I don't see the cars aren't an asset actually. They're not an asset. They're a cost. Because they're only depreciating, you have to continuously pump money into them, and you don't make any money from it. That's it's just fucking stupid.
I feel like we've tangented away too much.
We've tangented away,
but I feel like we've discussed everything we were going to discuss anyway. I hope you got something out of that episode, everybody. Listen, okay? With societal pressures for men, as we say, I think
everyone has their own pressures.
Everyone has their own pressures, but I feel like an actual solution for most people would just be value what matters.
And take a look to appreciate what you have in life. Sit down, write out 5 things that you have right now that you fucking love and that you wouldn't change. Yeah, 5. And then subscribe.
Then like, subscribe, and comment as well. Thank you, bro, for that. Thank you. Like, subscribe, and comment because it helps us. We want 50 subscribers by the time we're at episode 20. This is episode 10 now, so we're halfway there. I think we need 17 more. Okay, so
we're over halfway.
We're well over halfway in terms of episodes. We're halfway. Thank everybody. Thank you all for watching. I've been Mitch.
I've been Rob.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.